Now imagine you will take a student loan bigger than your life savings. Your friends will be busy buying bikes, cars, and partying, and you'll sign up for sleepless nights and endless deadlines. You'll say goodbye to a social life, gym life, love life, basically all lives. Your friends will become your competitors, and your biggest enemy would be your sleep. All for those three magical letters, which is MBA. The question is, are you ready for it? Hi. So I know what you guys are thinking right now. लाइक सबके दिमाग में कन्फ्यूजन होता है कि इतना पैसा खर्च करके MBA करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. बट फॉर मी इट वॉज क्लियर दैट आई हैड टू डू एन MBA बिकॉज मेरा कोडिंग में इंटरेस्ट कम हो गया था एंड आई न्यू दैट आई कैन डू कस्टमर फेसिंग जॉब्स मच एफिशिएंटली. और मैंने काफ़ी इंटर्नशिप्स की थी तो उससे मुझे आइडिया लग गया था. बट द थिंग इज़ यू हैव टू डिसाइड कि कहाँ से आपको MBA करना है. इट शुड बी अ टॉप बी स्कूल ऑफ आवर कंट्री बिकॉज एनीवेज यू आर स्पेंडिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, राइट? तो people have this confusion in their minds, and in this video I want to clear this confusion कि क्या क्या चीज़ें दिमाग में रखनी चाहिए if you want to pursue MBA, right? So in this video we'll cover that what MBA course teaches you in your life, what is the cost of doing an MBA, and how much ROI you can generate according to your profile if you're a work ex professional or if you're a fresher. So सबके दिमाग में क्या क्या thought process होता है. I tried to cover all this in my video, and I took a help of my senior. So he's academically doing very well in IIM. So I just wanted to understand from his perspective that in a tier 2 or tier 3 IIM, how he is able to achieve such things like good placement and doing academically very good. So there are a lot of realities which you guys would know today about the IIM, and it is very competitive inside IIM. सो इट्स नॉट ईजी कि IIM आ गया उसके बाद MBA हो गया तो अब तो जॉब बहुत अच्छी लगने वाली है. मार्केट बहुत ख़राब चल रहा है अभी भी, एंड इट्स लाइक अच्छी जॉब्स लगती है बहुत ज़्यादा, बट इट्स नॉट दैट ईजी. सो आई वुड रिकमेंड टू वॉच दिस होल वीडियो टू गेट अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव फ्रॉम समवन हु हैज़ ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम IIM, and he is a gold medalist in academics, and he was also involved in a lot of other activities as well. तो MBA आपको बहुत कुछ सिखाता है. You guys will get to know in this video. So keep watching.
Hi Rahul, good evening, and thank you for doing this. So I always look up to you as a good senior. You were always there with me in my club activities as a senior coordinator, and we all studied in Isaac together, not together exactly, but you were my senior. But we were part of many activities in a business cluster and all sort of things. So I have known a few things about you, that you have worked in Bank of America for a few years, for 3 years, and after that you did MBA, and you are performing very well. You are gold medalist in all the semester in academics. So how come you make a decision to do an MBA after 3 years of your work ex at Bank of America, which is a deep dream company for many of the students? So how did you make the decision and why?
Uh, yeah, thank you, Rajat, for having me on your podcast or your YouTube channel. And yeah, your words are very kind. I wouldn't praise myself that much. But so my job at BOFA, the reason why I quit is two things. One, obviously, the pay wasn't that great, even if the company and the facilities were amazing. And two, I think my role was beginning to get a bit repetitive. By the end of the third year, I felt like I wasn't able to get the right avenues through to express whatever new skills that I've learned. So I was already at a stage where I was looking for another job. MBA was sort of priority one, and getting out of BOFA was priority two, because I had a situation where a lot of companies were looking for my skill set. So I wouldn't even say BOFA is a dream company for a lot of people, because while the companies are very big, they're not really paying very competitive salaries nowadays. It's because of the influx of so many graduates that have flooded the market. It's actually the companies that have the negotiating power now. But the primary reason would be that I sort of started stagnating in terms of what I could do after 3 years. And I wanted to learn something and see some sort of accelerated progress in myself. So I thought doing an MBA would be the right decision.
So like you are saying that you wanted to learn something, right? So at Bank of America, you were eventually learning something. So you decided to spend more than 20 lakh rupees on learning a skill or to do an MBA. Like, was it worth it? Do you find it worth it? Like,
Well, the thing is, so the motivation to do MBA is either one, you can uh, Some people say double your salary once you come out. But if you were being paid a modest salary, you can double it when you graduate. This second, excuse me. The second primary motivator would be you can get into domains that you weren't able to before, based because of your previous work experience. I
Okay,
didn't.
got it. So switching of the domain can be one of the reasons for leaving your
Yeah.
job and
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's
so that's
primarily. I would say money is first and switching domain is second. Learning, I think very few people. I'm probably one of the few people who sort of had learning as a big priority, but I would put myself in a very a minority where that minority is very small, like 1%, 2%. Most people want
okay. Okay.
money or they want domain.
So my next question is that you graduated as the gold medalist. So was it your pure passion, discipline, or the fear of failure that drove you to achieve these goals? And like, how do you personally define success today? Like, is it a medal, the job, or something else which you learned at MBA that no one else has in the market?
Uh, Gold medal is just, I just want to keep, I just did the best that I could and I happened to get the gold medal. That's just a very simple answer. If I was in a better IIM, I wouldn't have been a gold medalist. That is just me being very honest. So
Okay.
that's just I did my best. The competition wasn't as intense as it was in a better college. I became the gold medalist. That's just how it was here. There isn't any other answer to
So
that.
does
And
it affect your placement?
no, it does
No.
not.
So no one asked about your gold medal in the
I
interviews
did
or
not have the opportunity because I attended just one interview within the first month of my MBA, and I never attended an interview since. So,
okay, great. That's very good. Yeah. So like if I would say that like you opted for MBA, right? And if I would say that the fee is double for the like next year or what, so would you still opt for an MBA or prefer doing job for some more years, or would you prefer to go into more better college or do something else in your life?
no,
What
the
would be your
only,
decision?
so if you double it, it becomes 40 lakhs. The only MBA you should pay 40 lakhs for in India is ISB, or maybe IIM Ahmedabad. No, no, under no circumstance should you pay 40 lakhs for anything below top three or top four in MBA in India. That would be a big mistake. Please don't do that. Just continue working in your job and try to get a higher paying job or try to get a better job.
Because like, there are a lot of IIMs and even other top B schools who just have a hike in their fees. So like according to the market which is currently right now, so we all know that market is not that good for the MBA graduates also and for the engineers also. So what do we say about that? Like should people invest that much money in a degree, to switch their domain or to earn the money which they want? Like what would you say according to the market scenario? Or do you think that you are more optimistic that the market will eventually be corrected? So having a skill or an MBA degree is more preferable than like looking into some 2-3 lakhs of hike in fees.
So before the common consensus was that MBA would give you 100% ROI. I read an article saying that's no longer the case. So that's one thing out. Second thing is placement scenarios across all IIMs, especially the ones that are not top, are very bad. So from an ROI perspective, MBAs are not good at all right now. Third, the market scenarios is just going to get worse because this tariff thing has just completely thrown everything into frenzy. So yeah, if you're looking from ROI, MBA, I would not recommend it at all. I have a friend who gave up IIM Kozhikode because he didn't think it was ROI. The ROI was good enough. If the person's willing to give up
Okay.
IIM Kozhikode, then other IIMs below, IIM Kozhikode is one of the best schools. Other IIMs below, value proposition is it is not convincing at all personally for me. If you can get
Okay.
your
So
MBA done without an education loan, then I would recommend it.
okay, great. So, but it depends. Like, if someone who is not getting like hike in the salary, or they want to skill up their like resume or their abilities. So people generally prefer MBA. So what do you have to say about that? So they eventually have to spend lakhs of rupees via education loan because it's easy to get education loan. So they don't think about that ROI perspective which you are giving right now. So how would people get into that thought process to have their future secured ahead?
So the thing is, what happens is that they have a certain goal, and the MBA is not really the right way to go about obtaining that goal. I think for some people, this MBA is just an escape, maybe because they're not able to probably upskill themselves in the right avenue. If you're looking for a hike and then you invest 20 lakhs and you put yourself in a deeper financial hole, then you're just not that smart. So, if you really do a lot of hard number crunching, you realize in a lot of scenarios, MBAs from lower tier IIMs are really not it's very difficult to justify if you have to pay an EMI every month. So the only way I would recommend it is if you are very convinced that you could go to these colleges and be amongst the best of your batch, then I would recommend it.
Right.
If you're not able to shine even in, I would say a lower tier IIM, where the recruiters, as you know, the supply is much lower than the demand, right? We have a lot of students, but quality recruiters is
Yeah,
a
right.
problem. I would take a very long, hard thought before doing it, especially in today's current market conditions. Maybe if it's better, then you could try.
Yeah, right. I absolutely agree with your answer. Like, so there's one more thing which like I want to understand. Like audience also want to be, they also want to know about this perspective. Like, uh, is the mental health taken seriously in these schools? Like we have heard at a lot of places in at a lot of articles we have read that there is this sleep schedule is not that good, and there are a lot of things going on simultaneously. So how are students coping with all of this along with the stress of getting a job and waiving of their education loan?
So every IIM has a appointed counselor who you can, I believe, book sessions with whenever they're free. So from that perspective, I think IIMs are good because then you have a person that you can meet whenever you have problems. But uh, the biggest mental health burden that comes, especially for people in our tier of IIMs, the new IIMs, is essentially not getting placed after sitting for the placement season for a period of 8 months because it's not like the blacklist. So there, I think IIMs are lacking because the amount of confidence that a person loses as he sees his friends get placed while he does not, especially when what happens is because the placement drives are long and protracted and a lot of candidates apply, you're not going to get specific feedback that tells you why you're not able to clear further rounds. So you're stuck in this downward spiral where you don't even have the requisite feedback to improve yourself. That sends you down this sort of mental health, really deteriorates your
Yeah,
mental
right.
health. Institutions not really done the requisite things to try to deal with that. I think they're using a very blunt approach at most sessions to try to just most sessions for upskilling sessions to try to get candidates to do better. I think you have to have a focus on improving the confidence of these candidates as well, and actually focusing on that area, which a lot of colleges I don't think are doing at the moment.
Okay, got it. So, so there is a market change which we can see right now. So AI is coming into picture, AI, VR, gig economies, and e-commerce. Everything is coming into picture. So the packages which like students get into an IIM is of mainly consulting, finance, or marketing. So how would these schools cope up with this market change? Or students, what is the students' mindset while they are sitting in an interview or while they are preparing for interview or they're studying in an B school? So how can they transform like in a short amount of time?
I think actually the quality of learning has deteriorated rapidly because of AI, at least where I study. Because what happened is assignments that was supposed to test you before are now AI can solve it for you. So I think the employability of students is declining because if you yourself are using AI to submit your assignments, why should a firm hire you? So I don't know
So
how
that
to
is for the
answer.
curriculum.
No, no. The curriculum in certain domains is directly tied to what you'll be doing in your company. I come from finance, and whatever I was asked in the interview is exactly what I'm doing. So if you were to do the
Okay.
assignments honestly, then it would really help you out a lot, especially if you're doing some sort of accounting job or corporate finance job. Some of those things that are taught are
Hmm.
very important. And
So the currently also companies are looking for such minds who can solve problems traditionally without using AI
see,
because AI can be used
I
by
don't know
anyone.
about that. Like companies basically have a specific role where they need to get X, Y, Z things done. I wouldn't go as
Okay.
so grand as to call them problems. Honestly, I don't think we are so great that we can solve these big problems. They just have certain tasks that need to be done, and they need a person to fill it. Maybe the
Hmm.
problem solving people are probably, you know, to be blunt, they're in better schools. So there's definitely a requirement for a person to fulfill a specific role, and we're doing it. I see that a lot of these roles can be automated. So the recommendation I would give is to see which roles still can't be automated because of AI, because they have a
Hmm.
certain set of skills required that you can't clearly define, and try to focus on getting those jobs.
Okay. So there is one last question which I would like to ask you, which is generally it is a context of an experienced professional or a fresher. So there are both type of students studying in IIM. So what do you believe, like what challenges do freshers face? Because people are, more into, they already know their domain, in which domain they want to go. And they came here with a mindset to either switch the domain or get a better package. But what about freshers? Like what do they do at an IIM or a top school?
When freshers come to apply for an MBA, because you don't have work experience, you'll have to make sure your profile compensates for the lack of work experience. Either you can do that with a stellar academic record, or you can have a lot of very valuable internships and a whole host of extracurriculars. That when you submit your resume to a recruiter, he says, okay, this is the type of personality I'd like to have in my organization. Resume is a reflection of yourself. So if you're a fresher, if your profile is empty, I would again not recommend you to do an MBA, because you will be at the very last position in terms of the
Yeah.
prospectability or the appeal to a recruiter. Why should they hire a person who has poor academic credentials, no any sort of value in their resume, and doesn't have work experience? So if you feel your
Yeah.
profile is empty, do not go for an MBA. You'll have a hard time, and you'll end up spending 20 lakhs, and you'll end up getting a job that could have been done without an MBA as well. So really work on your profile is what my advice would be if you're a fresher.
So thank you for answering all these questions. I have one last question, which is like, if someone asks you to recommend, like, is an MBA still worth it in 2025 or ahead after 2025? What would you say? Like,
If you want to get a high-paying job, it's only worth it if you go to the top schools. And if
okay,
you want to switch your domain, it's only worth it if you go to the top schools. To clarify, if you want to get into investment banking, management consulting, specific domains, and you're very, very particular, only worth it if you're going to the top schools. Anything below top schools, not worth it at all. But if you want to generally get into a role that gives you more decision-making authority in the future, you feel like you can be able to drive higher level decisions, then take
okay,
an MBA with the expectation that you're not going to be, there's a high chance you're going to be earning a very regular salary for at least the next 2, 3, 4 years. But you
okay,
will, if you commit to the MBA, you'll definitely come out a much better person and a much more complete professional. But if you're looking for salary, or if you're looking for a specific domain such as management consulting or investment banking, only do it if you can
hmm,
get into the top schools in the country. Otherwise, it is not worth it.
okay, got your point. So like, thank you so much for doing this. I guess, like, I hope like everyone would like this video and it will be helpful for everyone. So thank you so much, Rahul, for doing this at this time. And
Anytime, Rajat.
yeah, I
It was
guess
a
we'll.
pleasure talking to you. Yeah, I hope I can talk to you again someday in some other episode.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll say whatever you want, let you walk in on my heart if you want to.